Good morning, one and all, and thank you for joining me bright and early on this Tuesday morning. Dr. Z here with another episode of Tooth Teacher Tuesday. This week, talking about topic that's kind of been recurring over the last few months, talking about different ways that we replace teeth. Today, picking up on a topic that we left off on quite a while back, but I had mentioned in discussing our different options for replacing missing teeth that there are different types of removable appliances, some permanent, some temporary. And so that's today's topic, is what exactly is a flipper? And so a flipper is kind of our slang term for a healing appliance that is used. It's a removable partial denture, but not the permanent kind that I talked about previously that looks like this, that we have the strong metal framework to give it strength and rigidity to stay in. A flipper is going to look more like this. It's almost like a orthodontic retainer, but with a tooth or two on it. And noticeably, really not much metal to it all. Sometimes we'll have little clasps to help give them some retention, but all in all, these flippers are, very much intended to be temporary for a number of reasons. And so, essentially, a flipper, like I said, it's a healing appliance. When we have to remove one or more of the front teeth to temporarily allow us to replace that tooth so that our patients aren't going an extended period of time while they're healing. We don't want them going without a front tooth if we can help it. So that's the intended purpose of a healing flipper. It's made without metal because the goal is to just make something that we can make quick and less expensive. Reason being that a lot of times if we're having to take a front tooth out, it's kind of an emergency situation that we want to get that front tooth replaced as quick as possible, and making a permanent partial or our other permanent replacement options, implants and bridges, those take time. And so a healing flipper is going to be the fastest way to get something in there so that you can smile again. But because it's pretty much made all of plastic, it doesn't have that strength of a final permanent partial or a bridge or an implant. So it is entirely intended just for aesthetic purposes during that healing period until we can do something more permanent. So kind of the little phrase that I use with my patients is that it's for pictures, not for picnics, which is just a fun way of saying, again, it's more for cosmetics. It is not really intended to do any serious chewing on, because, again, it's made out of cheap acrylic that keeps costs down and gets us something quickly, but it's not going to have the strength to do any major chewing on, and if we attempt that, there's a good chance it could break. So that's essentially what a healing flipper is. And again, the idea being that a lot of times we can't do our permanent replacement option, whether that's a partial denture, a bridge, or an implant. Typically we can't do that at the same time a tooth comes out because we need time for the area to heal so that we've got a good solid foundation, just like a house, good solid foundation to build up off of. But with a healing flipper, that's not the case because, again, it's just intended to be temporary. So hope that makes sense, especially kind of understanding the difference between the temporary flipper and the more permanent partial denture. If you have any questions about this or any suggestions for future topics, please feel free to let me know. Otherwise, thank you for the pleasure of your time, and I hope you will join me on next week's Tooth Teacher Tuesday.